Welcome back to another video, guys. It is race week and it is Tuesday. Yesterday I did a swim, which was really good, and I also did an easy bike and easy gym, more activation and mobility. And then today I've got an early morning swim, which is why I'm up this early. I normally don't really like swimming this early, but the normal pool that I go to is completely closed this whole next month for refurbishment, so I've got to drive a little bit further to a different pool. And logistically, it just makes sense to get up earlier, I think. So, but that's what I'm doing. Threshold swim this morning. Getting a bit more speed in the arms ahead of the weekend, and looking forward to it. So let's have a bit of food and let's crack on. So good early morning swim. I'm now out for my prep run session. It's bloody boiling, really muggy. But yeah, the swim this morning, really good. Did some prep work, some sort of faster hundreds, coming in on like 113s, 115s, leaving on 125s, 200s, coming in on like 225, leaving on 245, and some 400s, coming in around 5 and leaving like 520. So overall really good swim, only like 3k in total, but some good intensity there, and that's what this week's all about, like revving that engine. This road is so busy now. Yeah, all about revving that engine, and that's exactly what this run session is about as well. So overall effort, not that much. It'll be about 45-minute jog in total. Yeah, 3k warm up, and then I'm going into a k at like 70.3 run pace, so 325s, 330s, 2 400s, running a bit quicker, more like 315s, and then a few minutes rest, and I'll do that twice through. So nothing too crazy, just revving it up. Two 400s left, and I feel terrible, honestly, real bad. Like, I think it might be because of the strong winds and the pace not being there, but also just, yeah, not feeling great. Body's not feeling good, not really getting into much of a rhythm, but it's taper week. A lot of the time this happens. It's never perfect. Like, I guarantee most of you will have had a couple of sessions in a taper week where you think, bloody hell, how am I going to race this weekend? But you manage to pull it out of the bag, and hopefully this is one of those races where that happens. So as you can see, I have just gone and got my race day haircut. Nice and trim, I feel like a hedgehog. Oh, love it. So that's nice and aero, which is all good. Lost a little bit of weight as well, so that's ideal. Need to get rid of this, because that'll make me more aero maybe, I don't know. So today, what is on the plans? My body's actually a little bit tired today. That run session last night kind of annoyed me, didn't go that well, and felt pretty rubbish. My calf's quite tight today, so that's something I'm really going to focus on. What have I got today? I've got a swim, so I need to go and get to the pool ASAP before all the kids and parents get there and ruin it for everyone. And then I've got a couple of hours on the bike, pretty chilled. Gonna do that on the turbo probably because it's quite wet, and a bit of a kind of like mobility activation session, which would be really good, and try to loosen off these calves. So that's the plan for today. Let's get going.
I do at some point definitely want to get some content in that pool, but it's going to be very difficult, especially at the minute with the kids' holidays. And yeah, it was a bit carnage to start with, but I managed to assert my dominance in the fast lane like an absolute legend. I think I probably pissed quite a few people off, but actually it just got better. After 10 minutes, I think people realised that I wasn't going to stop being annoying, so ended up moving over, which was fantastic. So yeah, good swim. Overall, just pretty aerobic. Just keeping the body moving. That's what this week's all about. And yeah, go home and eat some food now, so let's go.
I guess one thing to talk about with these taper weeks, everyone's so different, but one thing I mentioned to all of the athletes, and I put a note in Training Peaks for every single athlete that I coach in race week, is think about going towards the race, maybe from Wednesday onwards, like really reducing your fiber, because fiber is obviously the thing that gets your digestive system going, and is obviously really useful. However, during race week, when you want to reduce that, just reduce like the risk of GI distress and stuff on race day. And I've had massive problems in the past. Like, those of you that would have watched the PTO race at Edmonton, you would have seen Ali Brownlee had real bad stomach cramps. I suffered like that at multiple races a few years ago, and it took me ages to figure out what was going wrong. And it got to the point where I was like, maybe I'm just not built for this sport. But it was actually the nutrition and what I was eating leading up to the race and what I was having on race morning. So that's something to really consider and think about. If you have stomach issues on race day, or just to reduce the risk of having stomach issues, definitely reduce your fiber. And you might want to consider reducing stuff like dairy as well. That's what I try and do. Just try and make things super simple, super bland. The more beige, the better, basically. So, chicken nuggets. Earlier than I'd like to be on the turbo. It's coming up to 7 o'clock now. I should have got on at 6:30 actually. That was the plan, but yeah, I'm always late for everything. The reason why I'm on the turbo early is because I want to get this prep session in before I then travel up to Bristol for something that I will mention later on. And I didn't want to have to then come home after a long day and think about doing this turbo session. So I'd rather just knock it out of the park and make sure that tomorrow and Saturday I'm getting not a lie-in, but a bit more sleep, just to make sure that I'm fully recovering properly. But yeah, this session meant to be about an hour. I'll probably cut it down a little bit because, as I mentioned, I'm running late, but it's nothing too crazy, just 10 minutes at zone 3 over gear work, and then into 3x4 minutes at FTP, short rest in between, 2 minutes, just kind of firing it up. And it should be a good one, hopefully. We will see. Back from BW cycling now, have the bike with me here, and they've gone through a really nice race tune-up, race service for me, which is brilliant. And I've also got 2 extra bits of kit that have been put on the bike. Number one, as you can see here, it's quite bright. It's that white chain just there. Ceramic Speed waxed chain. I got them to put that on for me, and it looks the tits. So hopefully that'll help out. And then I've also got, for you eagle-eye viewers there, a new rear mech. There. New rear mech, because the one that I had, all the components that I had on my Trinity, which I bought back in 2016, were transferred onto this bike because I just bought this frame. And the rear mech was quite old, it was quite battered, it was quite heavy as well. And the new ones are just lighter, a little bit faster, and less resistance on the chain. So I've tried to basically leave no stone unturned with this bike. I was potentially going to look at getting different tyres as well, but these tyres are actually fairly new. They're the new 5000 tyres, so they're easier to get on and off. They're slightly lighter. So actually this setup right here is probably as good as I can get it. I would love to sort out the front end a little bit more, maybe get something a little bit more kind of hugging the forearms a little bit. However, there's a lot of stuff out there that costs a lot of money that I don't have, so that's not what I'm going to do right now. But yeah, as it stands, this setup is as quick as I can possibly get it, and I want to do it justice on race day. And all these different kind of marginal gains, this is what I'm looking at. This is what you've got to look at if you're going to be racing in the pro field and try and be competitive, because everyone's so good. You have to look at all these small areas. But I'm really excited to race on this bike, and yeah, can't wait. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Super basic race week video. Everything is being geared up to making sure I'm getting to race day as fresh as I possibly can.
I'm feeling good, so hopefully I'll feel good on race day and we can do some damage. Look forward to seeing loads of you guys there out on the course and at registration and briefing and stuff on the Saturday. And yeah, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.